Hi again, Ryan Smith at Better Life Carolinas. I thought we might devote a little time to talking about a concept that we hear sometimes in the press or just in conversation called andropause. What is andropause? What does that really mean? Uh, I'll tell you my thoughts on the term andropause in just a bit, but I think when we hear that term, what we're really talking about is the decline in testosterone that most men experience as they go throughout their adult life. We know that testosterone levels in general in most men decline. Starting somewhere in the 30s, men experience anywhere from a 0.5 to 1% decline in testosterone levels year over year. And that decline persists for the rest of their life. It's a continuous, graduous, sometimes insidious decline in testosterone and testosterone function. A good example of that is a study that showed that half of all healthy men aged 50 to 70 will have lower testosterone levels than the lowest testosterone level found in men aged 20 to 40. So that's a pretty striking statistic. What's even more striking is that more recent data seems to show this decline in testosterone levels occurring earlier and earlier. A 2020 study revealed that men aged 15 to 39 had lower free testosterone levels. This trend was found to persist even when confounders like obesity or ethnicity or smoking status or alcohol intake were adjusted for. So what does this decline in testosterone really mean for an individual? How does it manifest? To address that, let's talk about what testosterone normally does, what functions it serves. We're pretty aware of the sexual functions that testosterone fulfills. It's important for libido and it's important for erection quality in men. But there are a host of non-sexual functions that are quite important for testosterone that may not be as widely recognized. Metabolically, testosterone seems to have important regulatory effects. It shifts our energy regulation towards protein synthesis, towards growth. It increases lean mass development. It decreases fat mass. It appears to promote the synthesis of red blood cells. Testosterone appears to have a modulating effect on the immune system. When testosterone levels are within what we consider a normal range, a physiologic range, it appears to selectively suppress the most energetically expensive aspects of the immune response. And that can be quite beneficial in terms of our overall energy regulation. When we do evaluations in a clinical setting, we can find objective measures that correlate with this decline in testosterone. We see a decline in bone density. We can see an increase in fat mass, a decrease in lean mass. We see increases in blood sugar, increases in markers for insulin resistance, and we can see increases in LDL cholesterol. So back to this term andropause. I've got mixed feelings about it. I think on one hand it's good. It validates the experience that most men have. We all tend to see a decline in our testosterone levels throughout life, and we feel some of these effects in some form or fashion. Each of us is different in how they manifest, but for the most part, this is a universal experience. And so having a term that we can apply to it is affirming. The downside is that when we say andropause, we're inviting comparisons to menopause. And this is a very different phenomenon. When women go through menopause, it's a much more circumscribed period of their life. It occurs within a matter of a few to a handful of years, and it's a very dramatic change in their hormone levels. Whereas with men, this andropause is a gradual, nearly lifelong decline that begins in in early to mid adulthood, and there's no end to it. It's something that persists. And in fact, the trajectory seems to increase as men increase in age. So when we say andropause, that's really a misnomer because it's not a pause. If I could coin the term andro decline, I think that would more aptly describe this whole process. Nonetheless, we're kind of stuck with something to describe this life change that men go through. And something is better than nothing. So if I use the term andropause going forward, you have my editorial on how I feel about that. Having said all of that, I want to spend the next few sessions after this one talking about how this andropause or andro decline can affect certain chronic diseases and what we can do about that. So check in with us on some future broadcasts and learn my thoughts on those matters. Thanks for your time.